For one reason or another, a lot of people feel like they have no options, as if there's nothing they can do, as if things can't get better. And in today's video, I want to show you what you can do if you feel like you have nothing. If you feel like all the cards are dealt against you, as if life is just set up to make you fail, what can you do? Step number 1. Become aware of your situation. I got a bunch of notes on my phone to make this video as good for you as possible. Step number 1. Before we can solve a problem, we have to clarify. In other words, what is your situation? What are you dealing with? Such as, what resources do you have available? Now, when we think about a resource, a lot of times our mind goes to money. Our mind goes to physical things that we have. But what I want you to do now is write out every resource you have access to, even if it seems small. Food, water, shelter, people, books, the internet, school, free library, a program, a food, like a free food place, thrift stores, any resource you have access to that you can think of. Because once you understand what your situation is and the problem you're dealing with, and then you write out all the resources that you have, you can start seeing solutions. Because when we're so focused on our problem, it's easy for us to think that the problem is bigger than it is. It's easy for us to get in our head and think that I don't have any solutions. There's nothing I can do. I'll give you a specific example. Let's say that you grew up in an environment where there's not a lot of money, food and water is, hard to get, like there's not food and, the water's getting cut off, no power in the house, things like that. So you think that there's no way for me to make money, I'm going to turn to crime, I'm going to turn to doing what I have to do. I understand where you're thinking, like I understand where you're coming from. However, there are programs, there are free resources, you can find things like that. And I don't know them off the top of my head, I'll be honest about that. But you have Google. You can search onto Google free resources for this thing in my city. You can search things such as free food drives, soup kitchens, thrift stores, anything like that. Because I understand the idea of our pride. I don't want people to see me in a soup line. I don't want people to see me shopping at the thrift store. I don't want people to see me going to these free programs and things like that. But sometimes if you want to solve your problem, you have to swallow your pride. You have to be willing to do that. You have to be willing to, not have the shiny stuff. You have to be willing to not have the newest phone and the newest shoes and all of that if you want to solve the problem of a lack of money. Next up, after you're clear about your situation, you understand, what am I dealing with? What's the actual problem that you're facing? It could be lack of money. It could be I have trouble talking to people. Whatever your problem is, get clear about the thing. And then after you know what exactly you're dealing with, then you move into step 2. Awareness of your power. This sounds simple, but it's not. Awareness of the fact that I can do something. Right now, I might not know the solution to my problem. Right now, you might not know how you're going to get out of that toxic environment. You might not know how you're going to start making money or how you're going to solve the thing you're dealing with. But you have to be aware of the fact that you can. it is possible. As cliche as that statement is, it's the truth. You have to remind yourself that despite your situation, it is possible somehow, some way. It's up to you to figure out the way, to figure out the how, or as I mentioned earlier, when you clarify your situation and you clarify the resources that you have available, you're able to find somebody who can help you. You can find some program that can help you. You can find some kind of, maybe it's a counseling group, or it's some kind of after school program, or a church club, or whatever it is. When you know the problem, and you know what you have access to, and you know your power to do something, you're able to start taking actions. The next point to cover is step 3. Options. That's when you ask yourself, okay, now that I know my problem, like I clearly have identified the thing I'm dealing with, and I'm aware that I can do something, what can I do? What options do I see available? Is there a program I can go to? Is there a support group? Is there a free resource? Is there a thrift store? Is there a, I don't know, they have like free food and clothing and baby stuff for mothers. That's a thing. Whatever options you have available. That could be you go on Google and you search for resources in your city. It could be you go to the counselor at school and you ask about certain resources. It could be really anything. You just have to understand what options do you have access to. Even if it seems like only one thing or that will never work, ask yourself, what options do I have? Because once you know your options, you can start to make a plan. Another resource is what knowledge and skills and abilities do you already have or could get access to? So if the thing that you're trying to do is make more money, you have to ask yourself, well, what options are there? Is there something I'm already good at? Do I know how to cut hair? Do I know how to fix cars? Do I know how to babysit? Do I know how to cook? What knowledge, skills, and abilities do I have that can help me to solve the problem of a lack of money? Next on my list of things for you to do. After you've taken all of that together, step 4 is make a plan. So, to recap this, if you feel like you have nothing and you feel like you don't have any options to solve your problem, first of all, step 1, get clear. What problem are you dealing with? Is it you don't have money and you need money? Is it you have trouble making friends with people? What is your problem? That's step 1. Get clear on the thing you're dealing with. Step 2, the awareness that I can do something. Not necessarily that you know what to do, but you can do something about your problem. If you think about it, almost any single issue you can name, you can find somebody who had that, dealt with that, and overcame that. You might be a Paralympic swimmer. You don't have arms or legs. There are people who have gold medals and they're swimmers who don't have arms and legs. You might have come from severe poverty. You might have come from a really rough neighborhood. Whatever the thing is, there's people who have gotten out. There are people who have dealt with that and overcame that. And thanks to YouTube and Google, you can find these people. You can see obvious proof it is possible. And you could look at, well, okay, well, what did they do? How did they do it? And you start looking and you see the solution. But it starts with understanding the problem, understanding I can do something, becoming aware of your power, becoming aware of your options. So, what can I do? Is there a free resource? Is there a program? Is there somewhere I can go? Is there something that can help me? Making a plan, and finally, and most importantly, doing it. You could have the master plan, and many people do, and I was one of these people for quite some time. You can have the perfect solution, the perfect formula, the perfect play-by-play, the exact thing you need to do. You can know it start to finish, A to Z, inside and out. But you don't do it. And I'm calling myself out on that. There have been many times when I knew exactly what I needed to do and I didn't do it. Why? Because, how are people going to look at me if I start doing that? How are people going to look at me if I only wear the same 3 pairs of shoes every day so that I can save money and invest it into my business? Let me show y'all this actually. I'm not joking when I say this. I wear the same beat up pair of shoes every single day so that I can spend as much money as possible into my business and into growing this because I know it's going to work. Now, in that process, yeah, people look at me a little funny sometimes. They're like, he ain't got a haircut in years. Well, I get a shape up every 4 to 5 months. I could go get one every week if I wanted to, but I choose not to so that I can focus that money on my business. He always wearing them black t-shirts. Yeah, I got 10 of these. Why? Because I know that instead of spending a bunch of money on clothes and shoes and phones and all these things, I can focus that money into my business. I can focus that money into healthier food. I can focus that money into things that will actually benefit me. Because this same formula for solving your problem is the exact same formula for going to that next level. Clarifying, where am I now? Where do I want to be? Awareness of where I am and the awareness that I have the power to go from here to there. How can I do it? What are my options? What actions can I do? What thing can I learn? What skills can I get? How to do it, the plan, the action steps, the formula, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to go to the gym for this amount of time, I'm going to eat these foods, I'm going to go to college and get this degree, I'm going to apply to this thing, I'm going to join this program, the actions, the plan, and then doing it. Actually going for it, even if people look at you funny, even if they say that, oh, that's weird, or they doubt it, or they say that that's not going to work. You're going to make it work. Because where there is a will, there is a way. I cannot tell you what to do unless you pay me for coaching and I actually sit down with you and I get to know your problem and you explain it to me and I know your individual situation. Unless I know your individual situation, I can't tell you exactly what to do. I can tell you how to do it. I can tell you, all right, get clear on the problem. How do you get clear on the problem? You look at it. You look at, okay, this is my bank account. This is my health. This is my relationship. This is my habits. This is the place I live. This is my situation. This is the problem. I have this amount of money in my bank account. I have this health issue. I have the problem. Obviously, I'm not like a doctor or nothing, so I'm just using, when I say health issue, I'm just saying something like, maybe you're overeating or undereating, and well, that kind of gets into therapy where you might have an eating disorder or something like that. But what I'm really talking about is understanding what's your problem, like what the thing you're dealing with, and then figuring out what can you do. So for some people, that is, I need to simply change what I'm doing. Other people, it's I need to save money. Other people, it's I need to go to therapy or start journaling or go to the gym. When you understand the problem and you know you're capable of doing something, and you look for resources and you look for options and you look for the skills, talents, gifts, and ability you already have, and you make a plan and you execute the plan, that is how you can go from nothing into something. From where you are to where you want to be. From A to Z. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And like I said, if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, link is in the YouTube description, as well as if you're looking for speakers for your organization or school, Lawrence@lawrencecharris.com is my email address. For books and products, lawrencecharris.com. Have a good one.